Hey YouTube, it's Joe, the 50-something Dasher, with another DoorDash daily recap video. This is for Thursday, February 15th in the afternoon here. Just a couple things before we get started with the Dash. Of course, this is a new format I'm trying where I'm recording the video first and then adding the images in afterwards. So we'll try this out. It should help a lot better with the sound and picture quality. So let me know if there's any issues with that. Also, if I used it for the first time on the last video, I'll use it again for this one. The new ending that I shot. Let me know what you guys think. I already got one person so far that can't stand it, and that's my wife. And so if you don't like it, throw a comment on there. I'll change it at some point. I do have an idea for maybe something else I might want to do for an ending, and I gotta research that a little bit. But yeah, the clapping, it's just I shot my message that, from the car where I said, subscribe to the channel, yada, yada. And then in my editor, I was going through the different choices for music that you find in the, I use the iMovie editor, for Apple, and it's going through all those different pieces of music. I just didn't like any of the stuff for that, closing segment. And because that's where I did back when I did that farewell video, the segment at the very end where it has that funeral home music at the end, that's where that came from, that editor. And I listened to a bunch of other songs and didn't really like any of the music. And then I came to that clapping effect, and I like that and decided on that. And I know it's a little bit loud, but I still like it, but I'll probably change it. Anyway, on to the Dash. So not sure what time this came in, the first order, but I went ahead and took it. 875, 8.4 miles, 12 items. I was hoping for some multiples, and there were multiples. You see how the 12 items, 6 of them were just bananas. So it was just the bananas and 6 other things to shop. So this was a pretty easy shop. And then I got this message from the customer, and you see here this order had a pregnancy test. So I get this message, and the customer asks the test, the one that says pregnant or not pregnant, correct? Instead of some of the tests just have the lines. And I said, yes, that's the one I got. And then she says, thank you so much. But all these different orders that I've done before with pregnancy tests, this is the very first time on any of these orders where there's been any interaction whatsoever. Normally, these are like the most discreet orders. It's always leave at the door. I never hear from the customer, never see the customer or hear from them, so this is, I don't know, I just thought this was kind of funny. This was the very first time I heard from the customer. So then the time only took me 8 minutes, 33 seconds to shop this. I walked into the store, walked all the way to HBC, then clicked my start shopping. When I was all the way over by the pregnancy test, clicked start shopping, grabbed that, walked to the other side of the store, finished the rest of this. Did have a case of water in the order, but otherwise not bad at all. So I go to deliver this. It's delivering to a trailer park, and the instructions kind of look familiar a little bit, but I had seen similar instructions to this one where it says, GPS may direct you to the wrong place. My trailer number is such and such. Okay. So the directions kind of look familiar, like I said. And I get up to this customer's trailer, and once I get out of the car and see the trailer and also the steps leading up to it look very familiar, and I'm almost sure that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 95% sure this is the same customer that I got a contract violation on a Wendy's order where they tried to steal food. And then I could pretty well guess that this was, even when I first accepted the order, there was a good chance that it was either gonna be, a shopping order paying less than $10 and the distance involved. This was either gonna be a 0 tip or at most like $1. And, so then here's the pay screen right here. So it was a 0 tip. So so much for that. And then next I got a Panera order. It looks like I had dropped that off and I was just getting to the intersection of 62, and it looks like where I'm at there. And so I get this order. I went ahead and took it because it's dollar per mile matches and it's all in zone. So went ahead and took this. The instructions were kind of funny on this one. It said it was a leave at the door order, but in the instructions it said to call the customer. So I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of weird. I mean, you can clearly tell when the driver is approaching if you're looking at the app. So I tried to call, nobody answered. This was actually delivering to, I think it's like a nursing home type of place. And I get out of the car, it's like a double set of doors. The first set of doors I could go into, but the second was locked. So I just dropped the order right there in the breezeway and took my picture and left, and didn't hear anything from the customer on this one. Next, I get, this was, okay, so this was when I was still at Panera. Back up a little bit. They tried to stack a minimum $2 order. This was like as I was getting into my car and trying to leave Panera, and this was obviously a decline. This isn't worth bothering with, so I declined that. Then, of course, delivered the order that I did have, and there's the pay screen. $3.50 from DoorDash, $5.50 tip, $9. I'll take it. Okay, then we get to this order here, and I forget where my position was when I took this. I think I was real close to the Taco Bell McDonald's, but this one I looked at, I took a few seconds on this one, $8.25. It's 2 orders, 2 customers. So you're talking like $4 each. There's a good chance one of them could be a $2 0 tip. So I was like, I don't know. This one I was on the fence and I took it. Okay, so it ended up being a little adventure here. So it has me go to the DoorDash routing, has me go to the Taco Bell first. So I go there and the order's not ready. I'm inside the Taco Bell just a minute. And these 2 restaurants are just right across the little road from each other. So I've done this before. I just leave my car in the Taco Bell and then I just had to jog across the street and just run over to the McDonald's. So I switched tasks, went into the McDonald's. Now, the only problem with doing that is on like 10-minute drops by leaving the Taco Bell and when I go back to Taco Bell, your 10 minutes starts all over again. So you can't leave. So But I was only over there maybe not even 2 minutes. So I leave there, I walk over to McDonald's, check in at McDonald's, start my timer. Okay, now I'm on the clock at McDonald's. And maybe not in all McDonald's, but at least the ones in my zone, you can tell, like you can see their screens from standing in front of the counter, and you can see the different orders that they're working on. They used to have these really nice like television type monitors that had like all the order numbers, and it looked like an airport monitor type of thing, kind of sort of similar to what you see in an airport, and had all the different orders and what they were working on and what was in the queue. And at this particular location, they got rid of that screen, which kind of sucked, but you could still kind of see from a distance the screens that the workers are looking at. And so the associate bags up one DoorDash order, it's not mine, goes to work on like an Uber Eats and another DoorDash order, like two other orders. Those aren't mine. I look at their screens, and I don't even think my order was even in their queue. I've had that happen before, where it somehow, some way gets hung up in the system and the workers don't see it. And I've had it before to where I have to get with somebody, hey, do you have order ending in such and such? And they go, and oh, here it is. And then they like activate it to where it can be seen now. But I didn't think, I don't think it was in the queue. So I'm figuring this is probably going to be a drop. And then I talked about this just, I think in yesterday's video, how I haven't been getting the prompts from DoorDash to drop. And, but at this particular order I did. So here you see at 8:06, I was probably in McDonald's for around 6 to 7 minutes at this point, and I got the prompt from DoorDash to unassign. And so I went ahead and unassigned it. And then I I run back. Now I just had the Taco Bell order. And you saw on that original offer screen, one of the deliveries was close. One of them was farther away. So now I just got one order. This could be the farther away location, and it could be only paying $2, worst case scenario. So now I'm kind of, a little bit nervous here. So I go back over to the Taco Bell. That order is now ready. I grab it, get in my car, and come to find out this is delivering to the Hilltop. The Taco Bell is the farther out location. That's just great. And so now I'm heading to that second customer, worried about the pay. I go to drop that off, and I got lucky. I got really lucky here. This was $6. This one was $6.50. So the McDonald's was the $2 no tip minimum order. So I hope it stayed hung up in the system. Okay, so next I'm coming back to zone, and I'm actually like you see here, I'm coming up on the big boy when I get this offer. Frisch is $6.75, but going almost 13 miles. And this is going way north of downtown. And at 8:30 in the morning, I mean, absolutely not. This is absolute horrible order here. The decline, obviously. I go, and then I make the decision to, it's past 8:30 at this point. Things are probably going to start slowing down. I made the decision to come home. I came home I got here at 8:50 in the morning, and immediately go to take the dog out. So I'm outside with the dog, and I get this offer, 550, 3.7 miles Wendy's, which isn't bad. It's just most of the mileage is getting over to the Wendy's. I mean, that's pretty much all of the mileage. The customers is just down the street from it. But that just 550, that just wasn't enough. No, I'm gonna let my stepson finish doing his business, and I'm not gonna, stop him for over like a $5 order. So we stayed outside, declined this. Then I get another decline, and this is probably a worse offer actually. 650, 8 miles, McDonald's, going clear the homes down clear south off of 104, decline. So that came like 4 minutes later. Then we get the order, the subject for the video. I get this just 2 minutes later, and okay, so it's funny. I've talked about before on some of these offer screens how with me, and I'm sure a lot of other dashers, one thing will catch your attention in an offer screen, and then you completely kind of like don't pay attention to anything else. So the two things I saw, which was the pay, which is cut off here because I scrolled down this part right here to show this, the number of items on the Giant Eagle. But the thing that most caught my attention was the 140 items from Giant Eagle. And I was like, holy smokes, 140 items. And like I said, the pay was $34.50. I don't have the mileage on here, and it got cut off, and I should have took 2 screenshots, but I didn't. It was probably 20, 22, 25 miles, somewhere in that neighborhood. Now, this is retail pickup, so I don't have to shop this. If I had to shop 140, there's no way in the world I do this order, but I don't have to shop it. And I was on the phone with my wife, and I was getting all excited. I was like, I got to take this. I go, 30, 40, 140 items on a shopping order. I got to take that. I got to see what it is, and how many sacks, and if it fits in my car, and and all that kind of thing. So, and another thing, by not paying attention to, you see, like, it looks like 30 different pins on this map, and I don't know how I thought this, but when I first saw this offer, I thought it was just 2 pickups going to 1 customer. No, this is a triple. This is 1 PetSmart, 2 Giant Eagle orders, 2 separate orders from there, delivering to 3 different customers. So, but like I said, I thought I was just picking up 1 item from PetSmart and then 140 item shopping order and delivering to 1 customer. That was not the case. So here is okay. So it has me go to PetSmart first. My wife was like, well, but Giant Eagle's closer to where you're at. And I said, well, there's a chance that the Giant Eagle may not be ready yet. So it probably is best that I go to PetSmart first, go ahead and knock that out of the way, and then come back to Giant Eagle. So it was just 1 16-pound bag of dog food. So that's 1 item shopped, done. It just took me less than a minute to find this, and that's 1 customer all to themselves right there. So then I go to Giant Eagle. As I get stopped at a traffic light on my way there, and I was able to read the instructions. It said, you don't need to call a number when you get here. We'll see that you arrived. Just only call the number if you sit out there longer than 8 minutes. Okay, so I arrived, and okay, so next screenshot here is I got stuck with alcohol. So here we go. So I guess I'm not getting rid of alcohol apparently. So One of the two orders, I don't know which, has alcohol, and I'll have to scan the ID and all the, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And then, so then the next screenshot here shows the breakdown. So you had the first customer has 115 items, and then the second one 25. So we'll see. I don't have a SUV or a van here or a truck, or I just have a 4-door Hyundai Accent. Okay, I just have a car here. So let's do it. Let's see what happens. And everything fit, and I'll show the pictures here in a second. So I parked, and then a lady pops her head out of the door, and she says something about 2 orders. I don't know if she was, she might have been like asking me if I had 2 orders, or it kind of sounded like she was telling me that there was 2 orders coming out. I don't know, but I just kind of looked at her and acknowledged her, whichever she was saying, and she went back inside, and they came back out just a minute or two later with just the 115 items first, and it was 2 associates pushing 3 full shopping carts. And so she said that if because we weren't sure if this was all going to fit or what. She's like, these 3 carts, this is just one order here. And so I was like, well, we'll see if I can fit it all. And she said, if not, we can hold the second order here, and you can come back for it if we have to do that. And I was like, okay. So order the 115 items. What you see, I moved both of my hot bags over here, my insulated drink carrier, and I've crushed up the catering bag, put that on the floor. The dog food's behind the driver's seat. You can't see it in the picture. But there's part of the 115, and then a completely full trunk. Would check that out. Like every inch of my trunk was taken up with the rest of that order. So that was that all was customer A, and then B fit in the front passenger seat. That was just 2 sacks and then some loose items. But yeah, everything fit. It's crazy. And then, at 9:48 is when I after picking all this up, the first stop was to the 115 item customer. So I get there, and he wasn't too far from the Giant Eagle. I get there. The guy was really nice. I scanned his ID. I made trips and handed him sacks. And he said he was real appreciative of me delivering the order. He said he was home with a sick kid. And I said, yeah, I hope they get better. And then as I was leaving, he was like, oh, your name's Joe, right? I was like, yeah. And he actually shook my hand and thanked me. So as one of the only times I can remember, customer shaking my hand like that. That was really cool, actually. And then, so now I'm off to the PetSmart delivery. And I've got 5 miles to go to that. I was kind of hoping, man, it'd be great. This, what was it? $34.50. It'd be great if I could have done this all within an hour. But at this point, so I think an hour would have been right around 10 o'clock. I dropped this off at the big order, like I said, at 9:48, and I had 5 miles to go to the next drop off. So I was like, well, I'm probably, it's going to probably take longer than an hour. So I drop off the second order at, takes me 10:01 is when I drop off the PetSmart, the 1 bag of dog food. But after I dropped that off, then I've only got, I wasn't sure how close the last customer was. It's only 600 yards from where I was at. So I delivered the second order, closed that order out just 7 minutes later. And then so here's the final pay screen. So it's like an hour and not even an hour and 10 minutes that it took me start to finish from receiving the offer, shopping the one item, getting all that stuff, and making 3 deliveries was just like not even an hour and 10 minutes. So that was really good, actually. So the only a whole look at this 750 from DoorDash. I had you've seen the pictures. My whole car was full of merchandise, and I get going to 3 customers, and I get $7.50 from DoorDash. How crazy is it's just crazy. I can kind of see where, a lot of Dashers continue to be upset over stuff like that, but it is. I just look at the total money I'm getting and how much time it takes to make it and the miles I'm driving. So it is what it is here. Each Giant Eagle customer tipped $10 and the PetSmart $7 tip. So $27 in tips on this triple. So that was a really good order, and that was an experience right there. I have yet all these deliveries I've ever done, I've yet to have something that would not fit in my car. I've not ran into that situation yet. I seen something, this has been quite a while ago. There's this lady, you could probably look it up, that went to go get a pizza order. It was like 100 pizzas or something stupid, and she couldn't fit it all into her car. And I can't remember if it's on like YouTube or TikTok, or it's somewhere. You can probably find it. And so next, I'm coming back from all that. I figure I try to make my way home. Actually, I take that back. This is normally a slow time, so I was going to stop at the store to get my wife some coffee. So I pulled into Kroger, I parked, I walked through the front doors, and was going to go to the bathroom, but immediately I get this offer. $6 hidden tip, only 2 miles. I'm taking this. This is a great offer right here. Not even going to the bathroom. Turned right back around, went out the doors, went to my car, crossed the street to Arby's. I had to wait on this. So I went to the bathroom at Arby's. Had to wait 3 or 4 minutes on this. Not too long. It was just a fish sandwich and a gyro. Just 2 sandwiches, little sack. Easy, just jog down the street, leave at the door order. And so the pay on that is just $1, the hidden tip, but $2 and $5 tip for $7 for an easy delivery there. Next was I get a stacked Meyer, $22, 19.9 miles. And I figure, the distance is far on this, but let me go ahead and take it. It's only 9 total items. I know it's kind of far, but let's go ahead and do it, because $22 is going to put me close to goal. And this is still like before lunchtime. So let's go ahead and do it. And then, so the list here, you got a couple things from the freezer section, some batteries, oranges. Here's the rest of the list. Just more grocery stuff. So, and this wasn't difficult at all. Then I get before I'd even, let's see, I think I'd finished shopping that. I'm pretty sure I finished shopping that. And I get this $6.50 Zanzies for an additional 5.7s. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that. I haven't been to Zanzies in a while, so I went ahead and took this as well. So now I got an extra pickup and delivery on the route. And then, so next, after getting this offer, I dropped off the first Meyer order. And I don't have any notes or where that dropped off at. So I dropped off customer A, and then next I pick up from Zanzies. And then right about that time is when I get this Best Buy $7 for an additional 5 months. But this is going close to like downtown Columbus. That's number one. And number two, I got a shop for this in Best Buy. I try to be careful. I don't get Best Buy orders very often, but I'm not a younger tech savvy type of person. So I'd say if I walk into Best Buy right now, probably 75-80% of all of the stuff in that whole entire store, I don't really know what it is. You know, this iMac, for instance, I've had since 2012. You know, my iPhone's an older phone or whatever's like for instance, that order that I had, I think this might have been before my channel. But I had a Best Buy order where I go in there. I had no idea what this was that I was picking up. Long story short, it was, I forget now what they're even called, but it was something like almost like a pencil tip type of thing that you use for like drawing, like people that draw on their iPads, or, you know. So I could get this one item could be something like that I have no idea what it is. And sometimes it's hard to get help inside of that store. So that's not, I'm sorry for knocking Best Buy like this, but decline. My apologies. Then another decline is getting busy. This is the busy lunch hour right here, right in the heart of it here. Not doing this one. This is terrible. $5.75 Dairy Queen, adding an additional 8 miles, going out to Whitehall. I mean, absolutely. Don't they have their own Dairy Queens out there? I might have to look that up. There's got to be a Dairy Queen closer. Decline. Next, I drop off the Zanzies. So I get this, you see here at 11:36, I get it right as I'm, right before I deliver like as I'm getting to the customer is when I got the Dairy Queen offer. And then I deliver the Zanzies, $2, $4.50 customer tip for $6.50. That was going to like a second floor apartment. Then it's finally, after all of this, finally I'm on my way to customer B on the Meyer order that I got 100 years ago, and drop that off at 11. So 12 minutes later, I had the second Meyer dropped off. $15, got a $5.50 tip and a $1.50 tip for $22. And you see that put me just about right at goal, $94. So now my plan is that's close enough to goal. I'm just going to start heading home unless I get something. And so that was 11:49. So 9 minutes later, I get this $13 8 mile Cracker Barrel going downtown. and you can't even see my pin position because I was getting off the exit, and my plan was I was going to get gas at that speedway before I went home. So it's funny because Cracker Barrel, that's the same turn that I would have made for speedways. That's where I'm going. So I'm like, well, yeah, I'll skip the gas for right now. I was going to go that way anyway. I'll just get this order instead. Even though it's going to downtown, but that's okay. So I take this order. I go to Cracker Barrel. The order was ready. They just ordered like 2 drinks in the order, but the Cracker Barrel was out of large cups, so they had a drink carrier with the juice in like 4 small cups. So I didn't take any, this wasn't like a catering order or anything. So I didn't take any bags in with me. So, but it was still a large order. So I took the drinks out to the car and got my catering bag, come back in and got the 2 sacks, and then off I went. And this was actually delivering right near Children's Hospital downtown. And I'm following GPS, and it tells me to turn down this alley. And I'm, whoa, okay. So and there's a street sign for this alley. I turn down it, and I'm driving on probably the narrowest alley that I've ever driven on in my life. I mean, like I said, I have a Hyundai accent, and we're talking literally just inches on either side of my car. That's all of the room I had to drive between this alley, between, houses or buildings or whatever it was. I don't know that my wife's car, I mean, I don't know. She probably still would have been able to, her car's larger than mine. But she probably could have made it, but any type of like one of those big fat 30-ton pickup trucks, no way. No way, no vans, SUVs, nothing like that would have fit through there. It was pretty crazy. So I go down that narrow alley, then I make my turn onto the customer street, and I make a left-hand turn, and the pin position is to my right. And but it's really tight in through there. I got to find a place to park, so I had to drive up a little ways. Well, as soon as I pass the customer goes to call me. And I get parked, and the customer's like, hey, you just passed me. And you kind of have to come back away, and this and that and this and that. And to be honest, unfortunately, I'm not paying real close attention to what she's saying, other than just that I passed her. And I was like, okay, I'm parking my car, and I'll walk back, and I'll get the order to you. So I get out of the car, I get the order, and I walk back a couple house lengths, and I don't see any house numbers at all. I'm looking at the back of houses, and I'm kind of confused or whatever. And there's a guy outside, and I go to start to ask him. Then the customer calls again. And she's like, long story short, she says, okay, turn to your left. And I turn to my left and look up, and there she is. I see her through a window talking to me. But again, bad pin position. That pin was supposed to be on the left-hand side of the little, the street, but on GPS it was on the right. So, no big deal. I dropped the order off, and as far as I know, I haven't gotten a negative rating off that customer, but we'll see. So that was it for today's Dash. And here's the pay on that last one. $3 from DoorDash, $10 tip. So, and so that put me at 100 and, well, let's go to the final pay screen. So it was a 5 hour and 52-minute dash. I was active 4 hours and 32 minutes of that. So I had, the day the other day with all kinds of downtime, set that new record. And today I only had, what is that, an hour and 20 minutes out of almost 6 hours. So today I stay busy. It's crazy how you have slow days and busy days and high pain days, low pain days. And like I said before, it's the roller coaster. Completed 11 orders for $107.25. Guess how many miles I drove? 107 miles. So right, exactly on point, miles of money. So, and now at 2,655 lifetime deliveries. Started the dash at 53% completion or acceptance. I always say completion. 53% acceptance rate. Ended the dash at 54%. So I went up a percentage point. And that is it for this dash. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Check out my other videos. A lot of good stuff, a lot of information for all things DoorDash. And we will see you at the next video. Thanks again for watching.